Hey everyone, it's Deja from CrochetEverAfter.com. Today is the newest motif of the month. It's June 2015, and this is kind of just a basic leaf. It's kind of got a heart shape at the end, maybe like an ivy leaf. I'm not really good at naming my different types of leaves, but this is a great piece to add to flowers that you make. It's a very simple, fast, one round leaf, so you can attach it to the flowers, use it as a place filler for blankets and scarves and shawls, lots of different things. But we're using some worsted weight yarn in green, of course, and a 5mm USH hook. If you need some supplies, check out the links below, and let's get started. Okay, we're going to start off our leaf by putting a slip knot on our hook. So to do that, grab your yarn. I usually do two hands, then I twist the hand that's going to make the loop. Then I reach through and grab the yarn that's attached to the ball and pull that through and just tighten it down. Then I insert my hook, and usually the tail is pointing down, and just pull my working yarn to tighten it down. Then we're going to start the pattern. So the very first thing is to chain 12. So we always yarn over from back to front, turn your hook down to get through that first chain nice and easy, and then push your loop to the shaft of your hook so that way your chains are all nice and even, and you do that 12 times. So back to front, just lay it over, turn your hook, pull through, and then push. And once you get used to it, it's a nice fluid motion. And then when you get too far to keep pulling it, just reach up higher on your chain and do some more. So I wasn't counting, so I don't know what I'm on here. So if you're not counting or you lose track, count your V's. So these look like little stacked V's. This very first one's kind of small. That happens sometimes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I need 2 more. You can also count just this left side loop. So if the V's are a little difficult for you to figure out because they kind of loop on top of each other like a braid, instead you can just look at the one side loop and see how you have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. So you can count those instead if it's a little difficult to make out your V's when you first start out. So now we're going to move on to the first and only round of the motif, and that's round 1. Okay, so to get started with round 1, what we're going to do is double crochet 5 times into the 4th chain from our hook. A lot of numbers there. So we're going to skip our first 3 chains and we're going to work into this 4th chain. So that's normally what you do with a double crochet, is you skip the first 3 chains, and that's so you don't have a squished down double crochet when you start crocheting. So I'm going to yarn over from back to front just like we do for chains and everything else in crochet, and I'm going to insert my hook into this back loop only of the 4th chain. Reason I'm doing just the back loop only is because we're working down the entire foundation chain, this side and this side. So I'm going to work on just this side of the loop going down this way, and then I'm going to work on just this side of the loop coming back up, so that way I don't get a big hole in the middle. If I were to catch this back loop and the bottom bump, these 2 loops, and then I work into just this loop on the other side, when I come back, I'm going to have a big hole in the middle. So by not working into that bottom bump, I get kind of a little bit of a middle ground, a little middle piece of yarn there when I work into this loop coming back, so it's not such a big hole in the middle. But you do whatever you like. As with all crochet, it's totally subjective. So I'm going to pull up a loop so I can start my double crochet, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2. So we're doing 5, did I say 5? Yeah, 5 of these. So we're doing another 4 in here, same loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go back into that nice big hole we're making. That's the 3rd one. Up to 4. Now we're got 5. And then we're going to start making the length of our leaf. So we're going to double crochet in our next 4 chains. So we're doing 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 chains. So just like the previous stitch, we're going to go in just that back loop and do our double crochet. Then we're going to go into the next chain. So you're just catching that back loop. Just look for the next one that you come to. You can see this one's been worked into, so you look for the next one. That's 3, then 4. Then it tells us to HDC in the next 2 chains. So we're half double crocheting, so we're bringing our leaf down a little bit. So we yarn over again, insert our hook in the next chain, pull up a loop, and then for a half double we pull through all 3 loops at the same time. So yarn over and pull through all 3. Notice I always point my hook down when I pull through these loops, and it keeps me from getting stuck. So I'll point it straight down at your stitches and you'll get through all of them nice and easy. So after those, now we have a single crochet in our second to last chain. So you should have 2 chains left still. Single crochet. And now we need to make our turn. So in this very last stitch, we are going to single crochet 3 times. So it's going to give us a turn to our leaf. It's going to turn us all the way around so we can get to the back side of our foundation chain. So we're just going in 3 times in that same chain, and you'll see that it's kind of made this turn, and now we can work coming back. Okay, so now we're going to kind of do what we did on the other side, coming back this way. So look at your stitches. This is where we made this very last chain. It kind of covered both sides of our chain. So now we have that next loop here, so we're going to single crochet in there. So we did 1 single crochet on the other side. Then we're going to do 2 half double crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches, half double, then half double. Then we're going to go back up higher to the double crochet. So now we're going to do 4, or we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 4 chains. All right, now we're at our last chain right here. We're going to do 5 double crochets like we did here. So it's going to kind of give us a little heart kind of leaf at the very top. Okay, I got all 5 done. Now the very last thing that I want to do is I want to chain 3, and then I'm going to slip stitch down here where we began the very beginning of our leaf. And the reason that I do that is I bring the height, just how we kind of have this curve here, we want that curve on this side. So this chain 3 is going to come down, and I'm going to put my hook into this big hole right here, and I'm going to slip stitch, and that's going to give me, and I'm going to tighten that down, and that's going to give me that curved over heart that I have on the other side. So I'm going to fasten off here. I have scissors laying around. Okay. And then you can see that we have that kind of curved leaf. So it's a little 3D kind of leaf. So let me weave in these 2 ends we have here, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, one thing before I weave in the ends, just in case, if you don't, because all of those double crochets, they kind of create this big hole here. If you don't like that gap that it has, use your weaving in to close it up. So you can come across down here to your stitches. So I can get through. Ah, too big. Hold on, here we go. So I can pull my stitch through here, and then I can come across and I can kind of mattress stitch or whip stitch this little gap closed. So I just go right down to the next stitch down here, and then I come across to the other side. So I can close up this gap if I don't like it. Depending on, you know, what project you're doing, you might want it open, or if you don't like it, just stitch it closed. So that's one thing you can do while you're weaving in, is get rid of that gap. And then go ahead and just weave in the rest like normal. Okay, I got my ends weaved in. You might want to go further than I did. I was just trying to kind of finishing trying to finish a little faster so you don't have to keep watching me weave it in. But that's how your leaf is going to look. So you have that kind of heart look up here. You can flatten it out, or you can have it curl up more if you like the curling effect. So you can use this as kind of a spacer in between things on scarves or shawls. So if you had a bunch of different flowers and you kind of spaced out these leaves in between, that could be a pretty little break up or piece together part of your scarf or shawl. Appliques are good. You can make a whole scarf out of these, so you can connect them and make a real pretty kind of leafy, ivy looking scarf. Lots of different things you can do with this, but that is the motif of the month, and thank you for watching.